All right. So how's everybody doing today? Good? Yes? Thumbs up.
First, how
All
are
right.
you?
Good, good. Um, so we're should be working on our poster still. They're going to be due on, again, Tuesday is the due date. So please work on those so we can finish those up. And then we'll go through any questions you might have on them today. Um, I also wanted to take some time today just to kind of go over, getting your work out there, making some money off of this stuff. You guys are at a point where, you can do it. You've got the technology, you got the software. Um, you may as well start to kind of try to recoup. At the very least, start to think about it, right? And figure out what you want to do and how you want to get there. Um, I think there's a lot of opportunities out there for you guys. Um, and I want you to really take advantage of it. Um, I mean, the old days, it was like you went to college and you learned what you were doing, and then eventually you went and got a job, and then you would take your ideas and maybe someday you would make your own design firm or do something along those lines. But now we're at an era that's really kind of unique. I really can't think back on history that I know where we've had this kind of opportunity, this kind of time frame where we can literally sell to the masses. Um, we can communicate to the masses. In the past, it was very, I want to say, very controlled. You could only share your information to yourself, your family, your friends. Maybe you were lucky and you got something to a newspaper magazine type of thing. um, but you had no way of broadcasting. Now we've got these endless capabilities, literally sitting right there in front of us with this computer. So not only can we share ideas through this mass media, whether it be websites or um, things like YouTube or social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, those kind of platforms. Um, so we're no longer controlled. We no longer need to have um, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars to get our ideas out. No longer do we have to um, make things in huge quantities. Okay, I mean, it used to be a time where if you wanted to make T-shirts, and T-shirts have historically have been one of these things that many designers have done because you didn't need to do a lot, right? You could get by with 50 or 100 T-shirts. Well, now we're at a time where you don't even need to have 50 or 100. You could have one. You can literally sell one T-shirt. Um, so we're in a very, very unique time here where we don't have to have um, a lot of money to perform these things. We don't need to have the backing of uh, whatever it is, right? We don't have to have the backing of the man, right? You can go and make your own on your own. Um, so I think this is a very, very unique time, and I want you guys to understand that you are in this unique time, and I want you guys to start to take advantage of it, whether it be tomorrow or a month or 2 months or a year from now. But know that these ideas and these things that we're starting to go through um, are up to you, or are available to you, and it's really only thing holding you back is yourself. And I'm here to say that you guys can do this stuff. I mean, it's not brain surgery. And if there's something you don't know how to do, guess what? There's a ton of resources out there um, that will allow us to do this. Not only through some of the websites that we'll go through today, but also things like YouTube and websites. People just trying to share the word. So um, take advantage of this, guys. Right? I mean, you guys are all here because you're creative. Um, you've got ideas, and I think it's time you can start to put those out there. Again, this is totally. I mean, I don't know if you know really. You realize how incredibly cool this is. We couldn't do this 20 years ago, not to this extent. We could barely do this 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Um, we've seen this huge um, change in things. And I think it's changed for good. I think it's good for all of us to have um, these outlets available to us, these ideas that we can start to do these things. And from a design standpoint or artistic creative standpoint, it's pretty awesome because we can get our ideas out there like that. So let me share a little bit. Questions? Anybody have any questions before we kind of get into that a little bit?
I have no questions.
All right. So let me share my screen. We'll go through a little bit, and then we will do that, and then we'll go through any questions that we might have for um, the poster. So let me get my screen set back up here and get the chat back open. All right, so I'm going to first start with, I think something we all can kind of relate to, stickers. And again, I'm showing you some of the sites that I use, but by no means are these endorsements. I'm just showing you things that I've um, been using or been made aware of. And like I said, I think it's a good time. And when I show you something like this site here, like for example, Sticker Mule, there's probably 15, 20 other sites that do the same thing. Maybe more, I don't know. So ultimately you're going to find somebody you want to work with. Um, and but doesn't mean you got to stick with them forever. Most of these things are, little to no commitment. Um, but I just want to kind of go through, show you some of the options, maybe get your mind spinning a little bit, going, wow, that's kind of cool. I could do that. And then you can come back and take a look at them and figure out exactly what you want to do. But there's a lot of really cool resources out there, and I think, like I said, this is a good time. It's a good time to, I want to say, be a little entrepreneurial, and why not? And again, don't think whatever you're going to do, you're going to make $1 million in a day. All right, that's not going to happen. But I think with steady persistence, you can build this into something. And at the very, very, very least, as a creative, um, you can think of this as your own little side work, your own little freelance. Every designer I know is kind of doing something on the side. And, there's no reason you can't be doing this. So even if it's just supplemental income, money that's going to, let you go on a nice vacation or, upgrade to a new computer or buy a new camera or whatever it is that you desire, these kind of little side hustles, as they call them, are a good thing. Okay. So you may as well start side hustling now while you have the time. I know you guys are busy. You're in college. You're probably working, but it's a good time to do this. So let's go through some of the ideas and some of the things that can be done. So I've been using Sticker Mule for, I guess, 5 years or more. And again, what I typically do, how I do is I go through and I start to look at all the companies that make stickers, and I'll get some samples from each to figure out the quality, what's going on with them. I look at what they do and their turnaround times. So again, I'm just kind of making those informed decisions once I do, and seeing what the options are, right? So obviously you can get samples, and they'll send you a little sample pack for $1 with things they've done. So you can get kind of an idea as to what they are. And I do have other items, die cut stickers and labels and buttons and such like that. I use them for stickers myself. My biggest seller are circular stickers. Just grab one, something like this, just kind of a little round sticker, 3-inch is my normal sizing. And, you know, I buy those by hundreds of thousands. It depends on what I'm doing here. Um, and they give you some basic pricing. So, you know, one by one's kind of a little tiny one. Three by three is what I use, and that's pretty good size. Um, so right here, if you order 50, it's 65 bucks. You order 100, it's 83. So you can see the price drops dramatically when we get into quantities. And what's the beauty of quantities? Um, your price drops, right? So that's where you're going to make your money, right? So I'm going to just tell you a sticker. People will buy those for, you know, $3 to $5, depending on the sticker. Um, if you're giving them out, again, you know, you're always concerned with it. But if you buy 100, it works out to 83 cents a sticker. Okay, which is not bad. If you sell it for $3, you're making, you know, $2.20, 22 cents. You sell for $3. I'm sorry, $4. You're making, you know, $3 and plus on it, $3 and the same thing. But if you start moving up, you can start to see the difference where 200 is going to cost you $1.12. Well, look at that. That's you're getting twice the amount, but it's not twice as much money. Does that make sense? So you're not spending 160 bucks to get 200. You're getting 112. Well, why is that? Why is it that I can get, you know, 100, 200 for 112 bucks and get 100 for 83? So we're talking $30 more. Why is that? Well, it's called press time. And whenever we're dealing with stickers, or we're going to be dealing with postcards or brochures, booklets, dealing with clients, the more you make, the cheaper it gets. Because the biggest cost in any of these kind of things is really kind of, we'll call it setup, getting the presses, getting things ready. So even if we're working for a commercial company, and I'm just going to pull this out here. This is some little notepad that comes from the real estate agent. They leave it at the door, right? So it's printed with their pictures and it's blank area, but then there's a logo and phone number at the bottom here. And there's many pages in here that you can use. Okay, it comes as a little notepad. If I get, we'll say 50 of these made, it's going to be, we'll just say they're going to be $4 each. If I get 1,000 made, they're going to come down to maybe $1. If I get, you know, 5,000 made, you know, they might come down to 50 cents, maybe even less. Okay, so with quantity comes cheaper prices, because once they've set up this thing to be made, it's just a matter of a couple more minutes to make more, right? So think of it like a Xerox machine, right? You got one copy, okay, or if you set it to do 100, it tends to go faster a little bit, because after that first one's kind of in the system, in the memory, it just kind of cranks it all out. So the same kind of idea goes through with whether it be stickers or brochures or notepads or catalogs or even T-shirts for that matter. There's a huge amount of cost that goes into the manufacturer setting the item up. Okay, so in this case, if they set up to print your thing for 50 stickers, it's 65 bucks. We bump it up to 100, it goes up to 83. So it's not double the price. You're getting a discount because it's already kind of set up. So they're not going to charge you as much for the incremental increases. So here you go up to 1,000, and now it comes down to 29.6 cents. Okay, so went from 83 cents to 29 cents. Okay, now again, 1,000 is a lot of units, but think about it. If you're still selling that same sticker for $3, okay, now you're really making some money, right? You're making, you know, $1.70, or no, $2.70 per unit, as opposed to $2.20. So you're making 50 cents more per unit. Yeah, more than that. So you're really starting to get that numbers down, right? So obviously, whenever you're making decisions as to how many to order, and you order what you need. But if you know, hey, I need, you know, I've got orders and I've been selling about, you know, 100 a month. Don't just buy for 1 month. Go ahead and buy 2 months or 3 months, and you can see if we bought 3 months worth of stickers that we do 100 a month. It only cost me $1.30. I mean, $139 compared to 83, right? So if I did 83 times 3, God, I'm stuck at math. So let me just do that here. Do, 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 do. Times 3. That might have been 250, 249. So it would cost me $100 more if I did 1 month over comparatively to 3 months worth of stuff. Okay, so again, this is where you can start to, make a little more money if you start to kind of figure out what are you doing and how can I do this. And if you can afford to up it a couple months, you can see you're really not adding that much more to your cost, but in the end, you end up saving a lot of money. Okay, so I use Sticker Mule, like I said, for my circular stickers. I also use them for some die cut stickers, and we'll see there is a difference in cost because there's a little bit more cost going on here. 1,000 here is 2.25. And what was it back there for the? Well, I'm sorry, for 3x3, 361. So it's about $100 more ish in here, a little bit more. But again, we're getting that special cut. So they have to kind of set up a die cut, which is literally a piece of metal that they have. They can form the punch. So literally, when I do a die cut, it's like a cookie cutter, and that's kind of the easiest way to kind of think about it. Is they're making cookie cutters for each one of these particular shapes, and then cutting them out. So obviously there's a little bit more cost going into production than it would be a round one where they're using the same round one over and over and over again, because a 3-inch round circle is a 3-inch round circle. Okay. So they do have different costs for that. And again, they have some customized sizing. You can tell them what you're looking for. So it might be like 3.5 by 2. And again, it gives you a base price on that. Okay, so and they're really easy to work with. Well, ultimately, you'll come to what you want. You've designed it ahead of time, right, using your Illustrator. And again, you can do circles, rectangles, squares. They do some sticker sheets. They do some ovals, rounded corners. They do some clear stickers, vinyl letter stickers, holographic ones, a kiss cut, which is like that little extra cut that goes around it. So they do all of these things. So you're going to do this all earlier, most likely Illustrator, but you might use Photoshop. Again, depends on what your art is and so forth. And you're going to say I want 3x3, whatever the size that you design for. And again, you just set that up in Photoshop, right? Or Illustrator. I'm doing 3x3. You're going to tell me you're 1,000, and you click continue, and then you're going to upload your artwork, right? Choose your file and go. And these are previous files that I've done. What if you already have a white border around the drawing? You just kind of calculate that in. So like here is a white border. I built that in with a white border because I wanted that. And basically it prints with that. Otherwise, let me just find stuff here. I'll show you some examples. So here's one without a white border. So this is that National Park Lover one. There's a little bit of white border. That's just because of the paper and where it's been cut. But when you take the sticker off, there is no white border. Likewise, with this one, this oval, there is a built-in white border. So if you want a white border, you can build it in. And you can see sometimes you do want that. Let me just get an example here. I would say a lot of the times you end up building in a little bit of white border. So even this one of Yellowstone, there's a tiny little bit of white border because I wanted that. Okay, it just kind of helps pull it out sometimes when you put it onto something. So if you want the white border, you just kind of work it in to your design. Here's one for Joshua Tree, and you can see there is a white border. So the black is the edge of the design, but the white ends up becoming a part of the design. Versus the Sequoia ones down here where there is no border, no white border. Does that answer your question there on with that? So you just kind of build it in. Now the cool thing about this is they will send you a proof. It's a digital proof, but they send you this thing saying, here's what it looks like. Here's what it's going to look like before we print this. And it's very accurate. I mean, exactly what they're going to do. And if you want to make a change, you just say, hey, I want to make a change. And they have artists obviously on their end. So if it's something like, you know, can you make it just a little bit, I want a little bit wider, a little bit larger white border, for example, they can do that for you, right? So you don't have to necessarily go back to your artwork and rework it and re-upload. You can, okay, but they do have a skilled artist on their side that will help you with that. And I found like when I send up a new file, I'm getting a proof back to me literally in maybe a couple hours. Um, and then once I get the proof, I approve it, and then they go into production. Okay. And the turnaround time with this company, usually if I order, let's say I ordered today, what's today, Thursday, um, they ship UPS. So it's probably gonna ship out on Monday, I'm gonna guess. Again, depends on the quantity sometimes, but usually, you know, a couple days. I've had them turn around like within the next day and ship out. I guess it depends on how kind of busy they are. But they're really good with the turnaround. They're coming from New York State, and they do free shipping on their products. They do charge sales tax. Um, and that's kind of hard to get around. We're in California, and they charge sales tax on pretty much everything. They do give discounts, which is really cool. So if I order, let me go into my products here. If I go into my reorders, and these are all, you know, things I have or have ordered and stuff like that. So let me just say I want to buy, you know, 200 of this, and I want 500 of this. You'll see we're getting multi-design discounts up here. Okay, so what they do is they build in these discounts based upon how many things you buy. So if you buy one, you're not getting a discount. But if you buy two or three, many times I'll just buy a second or third thing just to kind of grab that discount. You know, so I'm getting $34 off. So, and sometimes it's based upon price. So let's say if I ordered at 400 there, you see it went up a couple dollars. Um, so you know, it's worthwhile kind of looking at the discounts. Um, you know, and figuring that out. You can see now I got $100 off, $105 off. I'm spending almost $900, but I'm getting close to 3,000 stickers here. Okay. Um, and again, you can see here it's 2,000. That brings it down to 32 cents a piece type of thing. Um, you know, and again, if you're retailing these or wholesaling these, whichever way you end up doing, um, you know, there's definitely room to make some money. Um, Brings up real quick, retail, wholesale. Retail is if you sell it to somebody. So if I sell you a sticker personally, or you buy through my website, your website, whatever it happens to be, that's retail. Okay. Um, if you had your own store, right, brick and mortar store, or you set up a table at the local craft fair or something like that, that's you retailing. You're selling it. If you sell it to a store, that's a wholesale. Okay, so if I sell to, I don't know, the Fullerton College bookstore, I'm going to have to sell it for a cheaper price. So I can't sell it to them for $3. If I sell them for $3 and they sell them for $3. Okay, so I'm going to have to sell them for typically less. Um, in the rules of kind of business retailing, it's almost like a 50% rule, meaning if I buy it for $1, I want to ideally sell it for $2, and then that retailer is going to sell it for $4. Okay, so you can work in your margins that way as to how much money you're going to make. Sometimes you make a lot more, right? So if I bought, let's say, about 2,000 of these Joshua Tree stickers, and it cost me 32 cents, I'm not going to sell it to them for 64 cents. Okay, I'm still selling it to them for, you know, let's say $2. Okay, so I'm making, you know, some really hefty money off of that. Um, and then they're going to sell it for, you know, $4. Does that make sense? So if you go to my website, I sell that sticker. Let me just see. I'm gonna look it up real quick. section on the stickers now. And I sell it for $4. Okay. So if I make this, if I order 2,000 of them, which I might, again, I'm going to do that because I want to wholesale, but, you know, I'm making, you know, $3+ per sticker. Okay. Then I don't know what Steam is.
Oh, it's a platform for games on PC. So
Okay.
there's a trading market on Steam that you can like trade certain items in for actual credits to
Oh,
use
okay.
in Steam to buy games, and that it's sort of like that, but obviously there's like a markdown on certain items that you get
Okay.
to trade, and so it's like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, so I bring up stickers, guys, because I think stickers are a good thing to do, and they're relatively low cost. Does that make sense? So you might be putting out 50 or $60 to do that type of thing, but you can make that money back. That makes sense. I mean, even again, if you bought 100 stickers at $83 and you sold them for $2, you're doubling your money, right? You're making $200, and you put in $83, so you're making 100, almost $120 off the bat design. Does that make sense? So relatively low investment on this. And again, stickers sell. You guys know. I'm sure you guys are buying stickers. So look at that. And again, don't be afraid to, if you've got some designs, again, don't just have one, but if you've got 2 or 3 or 4 designs, don't be afraid to kind of go into, go down the street and look at the little shops, especially, a place like Fullerton. They're always looking for stuff. So you don't have to be this huge company to start selling stuff. I literally started with a sticker and a patch. Literally. I mean, my first sales to, in this case, a national park store, which was Saguaro, were stickers, one sticker and one patch. Okay, so I had my first 2 items that I sold at the parks was literally this sticker, white, and this patch. Okay, so you don't need to have a bazillion things to start with. You can start small. Have a couple, okay, but you don't need to have 1,000 things in order to start selling. You don't, you'd be surprised. Again, I tell you because a lot of times you guys everybody thinks, oh, I need to have, 50 things to do this. No, you can start small and build your way up. Okay, you don't need to have a bazillion things. So stickers are one good way. They also do some magnets, and these are kind of those little vinyl magnets. I don't sell these, but they're pretty cool. That might be something to think about. I do sell buttons. I do this 1¼ inch button. I retail these to stores, and I sell them in bulk. So I sell, I don't know, 100 or 115 at a time. So these are kind of cool, right? You can make artwork and you can sell these. And again, if you did 100 buttons, they're 45 cents. I think you probably sell them for $2, no problem. Even if you sold them for $1, you're still making 55 cents a button. So they're kind of cool. People like buttons. I see you guys are talking about anime. Yeah, I mean, these are all good into gaming and those kind of things. And again, relatively low investment. Does that make sense? So think about that. And again, same turnaround time, very quick. I've got about, I'd say about 12 different designs for button. They're all the same. It's all the same button. It's just different colors. So here's all my buttons, right? So I have them in different colors, and I kind of sell them in this little retail pack where I mix up, 8 of each or 15 of each, and I sell them as kind of a bulk thing. And that's worked pretty well. I don't sell them online because of the way they are, and for shipping, it would be a pain. So I don't do that, but they're pretty cool. So they got some really nice little buttons there. Again, this might be something not necessarily for you, but again, you could make stickers and sell them in a roll. We've seen these, right, given out. You could do it that way, or you could give them out at an event. But it's also good for like you when you're starting to work with clients, right? I mean, you've got the, I don't know, the local pizza shop, right? And you did a little design for them, and it says, I just had my best slice, or the best slices, all right, and it's got the name of, Gino's Pizza type of thing. So maybe that's a little sticker they give out at the counter as they're working, or Trader Joe's does this, right? They give out little stickers to kids and stuff like that. So, these are things that you can do. You're not necessarily going to retail these. You could, I guess, but you can, make these up for your clients. Okay, so as you go, it's just good to know that you can do these kind of things. What else more they got here? They keep kind of adding things here and there. They do some custom labels. They've added some keychains and charms, if that's not something I'm doing. They do floor graphics and wall graphics, like we see now. Stay back 6 feet on the floors now. You could easily make up your own and sell them, or work them for a client. So again, half the time it's kind of figuring out something. I mean, I would say a lot of times it's kind of figuring out what do I want to do, and where do I get it made at. Does that make sense? So, if you want to do floor graphics, this place can do it also. Let me pull up. Oh, the mule sauce. I don't know. They make this hot sauce. They give it to you with your orders. I don't know. I always turn it down because I'm like, I got like 4 of them now, and I don't even eat hot sauce that much. But yeah, it's like this bottle of Tabasco kind of sauce. I do some patches, only a few right now. I'm looking to expand it. And this company does patches and some hats and socks. They do some coins and stuff like that. Now they are producing them. This company is actually located in the hot sauce stuff. Yeah, it's got a pretty good kick. I'm not a hot sauce guy, so I mean anything that's got a little bit of kick drives me crazy. So for the stickers, I'm sorry, for these patches, they actually make them in China. They got a pretty quick turnaround, meaning if I order today, I'm going to probably see them in about 3 weeks, which is pretty good, right? Figuring they're going to make them, and then they ship them, and then they typically ship through FedEx or UPS, so they're coming by plane. They're not coming by a boat, which is a good thing, right? It would take even longer if you had to do a boat. And again, it depends on the quantity and all that. But what I do with this company, again, there's other companies that do this. Patches, it's hard to get like 100 made. Well, I should say it's hard to get 50 made and get them quick. This place does that pretty well. I probably look at doing at least 100 units per time. I did a, let's see, this is actually one of the bags that came from them. So it came FedEx, and I did this bison patch. So it's all embroidered. It's got a coating in the back. I guess you could steal it, iron it on. And again, I sell these for, I don't know, $4 or something like that. I think it would have cost me maybe 50 cents each, something close to that. And I had 500 made. Okay, so it wasn't a lot. I've gone through about half. I'm looking to order more. And that's only been online, so I haven't been wholesaling them at this point. I'm looking to expand that. So you know, again, they do a nice job. This is my round one. And it's got that, the edge is called the Murrow. It's got a nice Murrow edge. You couldn't do it on the Bison because of the cut. And again, I get these, I could buy these by the thousands at this point. Um, again, pretty quick turnaround, pretty reasonable cost. And I don't want to quote you cost, and they don't even quote cost. That they'll talk to you about it. And I will tell you, with this company, kind of negotiate, right? I mean, gonna go, wow, that's a little high, right? Like 40% off. I'm like, hey, I just got an email said you had 50% off last week. If you talk to them like that, they'll work with you a little bit. Does that make sense? You know, because every time I call, I'm like, hey, well, last time you only charged me, you know, $800. Well, you know, I'm like, well, you know, it was only 800 last time. Can we get it down to that? And like, hold on. And they come back like, okay, we can do it for you. So again, and they have their own factories. Use factory ordering. So they are here in the U.S. They have their factories in China, and then they ship it over. So it's kind of nice. I mean, I'm not to a point where I feel comfortable dealing with Chinese manufacturers because I don't have the connections there, and I just don't want to like. Again, it's about the dollar, right? You got to send the money. With this company, I know they're good. I work with them, um, and they're here in the U.S. and they're very nice people. So, but there's other companies like this. Does that make sense? I don't want to say this is by no means the only company, but they do things. Like I said, patches, maybe a little bit more put into, but they do, you know, do some things like some hats. Um, what you're okay again, what you're doing is you're buying a bunch of them, right? You're buying 100 of them or more. So maybe a thing down the line. They do some pins. I also do pins, but I'm not sure if they're the cheapest pin wise. I have a company that I use because they package the way I need to package. Uh, but again, it's worth trying and looking at and getting a price estimate out of them, type of thing. At the very least, it's good to kind of look through and kind of see, you know, ways that they're putting things together and what's an enamel versus a soft enamel versus hard enamel. They give you kind of those kind of ideas and talk you through. Um, you know, socks. I haven't done socks yet, but um, I'm starting to dig them. Right. I know I think I'm a little bit late for the game because socks have been pretty popular for a while, but um, they seem to do some uh, nice quality. Looks to be pretty good with that type of thing. Um, and then they do some, I don't know, I'm probably not going to do these, but they do these kind of metallic coins. Um, uh, a lot of times you find these in the military and those kind of things, but you know, other companies, organizations are doing these kind of challenge coins of ideas. So again, it might be not for you, but it might be something for your clients. Okay, as you start to work, everybody's starting to do masks. I haven't gotten into the mask market um, simply because there's so many people doing it. And I just didn't want to do it. But there, you know, again, if you're working with somebody and they might want some customized things, again, it's something else you can do. Like I said, a lot of times it's just um, finding the companies that can do the stuff for you. So they've been good to work with. Um, you know, and again, you can see they do other things here also besides just patches. Um, but they're pretty good. Like I said, they're pretty good company with that. All right, so let's get into making some t-shirts. Now, I did, and we looked at this the other day. One of our students here's got their own little store, which is awesome. So we'll look at that a little bit further. And what's cool about I think this kind of Redbubble kind of thing is they're doing what I'm telling you sometimes and doing it all together. And I can't tell you, I don't know their pricing, so I haven't gotten into or signed up for an account to figure out pricing and stuff like that. But they seem to be able to, you can make your own website and put your designs up on here, which might be a step saving kind of thing. And again, if anybody has information as to pricing or how this is all kind of working, we can chat about that in just a few moments here. Um, I use a company called Printful for my t-shirts, and a couple of other products. The cool thing about them is it's called print on demand, meaning they make one. All right. So if you want a t-shirt made, they've got a multitude of different styles and manufacturers that you can go through. It's not just one. So if you want, um, here, this is a Bella canvas, um, a Bella. This is a Gideon. I think they have American Apparel still. I started with them because they were doing American Apparel, and American Apparel had some company issues. They went bankrupt, and they came back again with something else. Um, Champion brand, which people know. So let's say you did American Apparel. You can see they've got a bazillion um, colors, right? They got a whole bunch of colors, and they have a bunch of sizes. Okay, and what you do is you basically will upload your artwork to them, and they'll make it. So let's say I want a large shirt, and again, these prices stay the same. It just changes with sizes. It costs me $15.41 for a shirt, plus there's shipping charges and potentially sales tax. So it's costing me 15. Now, again, that's a little bit more for a t-shirt, obviously. Um, but the beauty of it is I only need to make one. Okay. I don't need to make 50. I don't need to make 12. And because what they're doing is they're literally printing on the t-shirts. So everybody has an inkjet. Think of it as they have an inkjet printer for t-shirts. That's really kind of the easiest way to kind of think about it. And you can just literally start an account, upload your stuff, and they will send it to you. And as a vendor, you get a discount on top of this. So if I'm buying this for myself as like a mock-up or sample, I'm paying a little bit less. But if I'm retailing it, they're going to charge me $15, but I'm going to charge typically, 25, $30. So I'm making $10 to $15 typically per shirt, as I'm making stuff. So you're kind of building those costs in. And again, if you want a 2x or 3x, I'm going to charge you more for that. So again, the beauty of it is you only need one. And I think from what I've been reading about here over in this Redbubble, they do the same thing. So they're basically doing many of the things here um, in addition to um, giving you a website. Does that make sense? Correct me if I'm wrong, right? So you'll design your work, you put it onto whatever products you want, and then basically customers can order through the Redbubble or your site within Redbubble, and then you get paid. Okay. Again, I don't know what they're charging per item, but again, you can always change. None of this stuff means you're committed to life. That makes sense. So this is kind of a nice thing, which I'm going to look at a little bit more, um, just for my own knowledge. Does that make sense? But it's a good way of kind of bringing your stuff together. So Lance, you use Redbubble. What do they charge, or how's that work? Let's say you have your site over here, right? You have a T-shirt. You sell it for
Yeah.
20 bucks.
Yep.
Do they make it for you and ship it out?
Yeah.
And how much do they charge you for that shirt?
I'm not sure that because I've never sold one before.
Okay. So again, that's something we'll look at. I'm going to venture to say it's probably around where um, the the Printful site is doing. I'm going to just guess it's in that ballpark. Um, so maybe it's $12 or something like that, $13 a shirt. And again, it's something you guys can look at. But the cool thing is, right? You can, and it's print on demand, meaning you don't have any inventory. You don't need to keep anything. They print them as you ask for them, as people ask for them, and then they send you the money. Does that make sense? What did they do about the stickers? You have to print bulk, or you can print just one sticker? Lance, do they just one sticker, or you have to make 50 at a time?
I think they print it for you and they send it to the buyer.
Okay. So this looks like it might be a good way to start for you guys. You can apply your work to various things, cell phone cases. You can obviously do artwork. You know, and everything is print on demand. Yeah, I get that, and that's the whole beauty of this whole idea now. Of we couldn't do print on demand 10 years ago; they didn't exist. Now, look, you got all of these products that you can do, and you know, and even things like stationery. I mean, there's things that you know are definitely worth doing. You know, here with this Printful that I use, um, you know, they've got pillows and blankets, and they've got bean bags. I mean, some of the stuff is kind of doesn't quite work. There's some jewelry stuff, some tote bags and duffel bags, different hats, um, water bottles. So I mean, there's all these things that you can kind of do. Now, again, the problem, they don't have a store that's built with it, so you got to have your own kind of retailing. But it looks like with this Redbubble, that basically the store is kind of built into what you're doing. That makes sense. So if you want to do, I don't know, let's do this drawstring bags, scarves. Let's look at the scarves. I thought about doing scarves. Oh, nice. Oh, those are pretty. Oh, I might have to do some samples here. So if you want to do a scarf, I mean, it's 20 bucks. I'm assuming it's going to be, you know, costs you 10 bucks, and you're going to make, you know, well, you're going to make 5 to 10 bucks per item. But those are pretty awesome. Okay. So you can kind of do your own thing and pass it out. It looks like they even have gift cards potentially. Looks like, you know, this looks like a pretty good site, honestly, to start up, to kind of get yourself going. Again, so you can do your design. I'm not going to say it's the best. I don't know. I have to would explore it more. You know, shower curtains. I mean, there's, again, the cool thing about it is like not everybody needs a shower curtain, but if you got a design, you can do it. And the cool thing about what you're doing, guys, is don't forget this. You design for one, it works for the other. So the same design that went on the sticker can go on the t-shirt, can go on to the shower curtain, can go on to the water bottle, can go on to the wall art. You know, so when you get some of these designs going, guys, you know, the sky is the limit, right? It's like you can put it on almost everything. And again, depending on what that person wants, you can make a couple dollars off it. And then it's just about matter about marketing it, right? And that's where we go back to the, you know, Instagram, Facebook kind of things to do. So yeah, I definitely want to look at this a little bit more. And right now they're just showing me kind of the retail side of things. But you can, you know, here's stickers and people are selling. And let me just see if they're really charging me $1.35. So it's 270, right? So when you buy 4, it goes down 650. If you go up, right, it's a lot bit larger. That's kind of cool, right? Because they're giving you different sizes, which I don't even do, right? That's kind of nice that can be done. Okay. So yeah, this definitely might need to look into this a little bit more for my own personal stuff here. Nice, nice. So again, we're doing this print on demand idea. Guys, you can make this work. You can make the artwork. You can do it all, and you can kind of pull it all together. So again, I'm using Printful for my shirts. They print per item. I have no inventory, which is kind of nice. They give you statistics as to what you're doing, which is kind of cool. I'm using Shopify for my e-commerce site, and they go through and you can list all your products in here. And the cool about this is it's kind of synced up to Printful, meaning if somebody buys the shirt, it tells Printful to make the shirt and send it out. Okay, so I'm not ever touching a shirt at all. Things like the stickers and these other items, I have these. I ship them out when somebody orders. So if they order, you know, a sticker or a patch, I have those. I put them in an envelope and mail those off. Anything like the T-shirts, they're printing on demand. Um, and what's cool is if you make a design, you know, you're like, hey, I like this. I wanted to do something creative. You can, you know, and if you sell one, you're great. If you sell 100, great. If you sell 2,000, that's awesome too. But what I'm trying to say is there's no investment except your time. Okay, your design time. It's not about you got to make 50 of them or 100 of them and hope you bought the right sizes and you didn't buy too many or too little. Otherwise, you're kind of stuck with T-shirts sitting around the house type of thing. So, and they've got pretty good ideas of how to keep track of things. It's all synced into Printful. So if for some reason they don't have that anymore, it puts it out of stock here. They're kind of linked together. I don't know why these are showing up as 0. Yeah, I have to look into that. That shouldn't be. Should be selling those bad boys. So, and again, I got to update my Facebook shop. Facebook changed something up, bastards. All right, so those are things that can do well worth it. They have other apps that can be built into this, which is kind of nice. They try to help you through with some of the sales and the marketing. They help you try to figure some of this out as you go, and you can they give you options as to the store design. So not every store is going to look the same. Does that make sense? So you can pick your theme. Let me just do. So this is Shopify, and you can kind of see this homepage. They have different websites that you can use. Okay, so not every website's going to look the same. So that's kind of nice about them. Let me see the pricing. I'm paying the basic. Let me just see. Let me see. Seriously, there was one I'm like I didn't even change. I'm paying the basic. I'm paying $30 a month, $29 a month with this, because I didn't see the advantage of going up to the 79 to get a couple more reports, and you get some. You already get the discounts there. What the big difference is, they charge you less per credit card transaction. Now, for me, that 0.3% is not making a big difference. Does that make sense? So. Otherwise, it's the same. You're just getting a little bit discount on that. So again, it's just kind of up to you what you want to do. But I can, you know, in this, it's $30 a month, so $360 a year, something like that, to have my quote online store. So I think that's pretty reasonable to do. So again, this is like for the next level, right? So I think starting out, this, you know, Redbubble thing looks pretty cool. And I'm going to venture to say there's other companies that are doing this too. You know, so again, it's kind of looking at them, doing a little, you know, a couple of days research to figure out who gives you the best options for what you want to do. Does that make sense? But again, you've got the design, you know how to do the designs, so do it. Does that make sense? And then like this is my online store, again through Shopify, and again you can edit this and change this and pick your typefaces and number of products and etc. And you can kind of keep building it up with that. So it's pretty easy to do. And then I just take pictures myself, whether with my Nikon or even my iPhone half the time works. Okay. And then I just kind of upload, right, and put them up, price it up, you know, and then they go from there and put in little descriptions and, you know, those kind of items. And it's pretty awesome how it works. And next thing you know, you're making some money. Does that make sense? So don't be afraid to do this. I think a lot of times people are hesitant, right? So don't be hesitant, right? You've got designs. You know how to do it with the artwork. All of these sites typically have, they'll tell you how to do the artwork. They'll have templates, right? So you can download. Here we go down here. File guidelines, they tell you what they want. So here is a template. So if I want to do a t-shirt, print files are 12 by 16. I hit download. It comes here. And there it is, right? It tells you where to put this, and they'll give you a guideline as to laying that out. So basically, you're dealing with 12 by 16. So all of these sites typically have that. So don't be afraid of doing it. And again, I think it's this whole idea of print on demand and these options that are available to you. It makes for a very, very unique time. And again, you can offer these same kind of services to clients because, they don't want to deal with it half the time, right? Or they just don't know how. So, you can sell your design skills and say, look, hey, I can, take your logos or your designs and get them made on t-shirts for your staff or get them embroidered or whatever you need to do. You don't have to make big bulk orders with things like you used to in the past. Okay. All right. Questions?
Pretty cool. I didn't know half of those websites existed.
Yeah, and there's more. And like I said, if you have questions, ask me. Like I said, this Redbubble, I'm kind of looking. I'm very intrigued now. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because they're not only are they making your stuff, which I have sites that do, but they're also letting you kind of build your own little website, your own little store through their thing, like we have like Lansted, right? So, that's kind of cool. Now it's tied into Redbubble, of course, but it's kind of cool to start off that you can put your stuff up right now, and I'm gonna guess it's a minimal investment as opposed to here where you got to pay $30 a month and build your own, kind of build it out. Does that make sense? I mean, this will give you a much more professional type of thing, but I don't know if you need that at first, right? I mean, I think this is where you move up to, type of thing. And this is totally professional. I mean, you'd be surprised at how many companies, big companies, like major multi-million-dollar companies, are using Shopify for it. Again, the cool thing about this, and I'm sure the same thing about the Redbubble, is they take care of your credit cards and all that kind of stuff. So you don't have to deal with it. You just get paid. Okay. So you don't have to like process credit cards or be liable or any of that. Look, I don't want any of that stuff. So I never see credit card numbers or touching. I just get a statement going, hey, we deposited, $50 into your account. And that's kind of a cool thing. We'll look at Aaron's thing here in a second. All right. Other questions? Anything about that?
I'm wondering about so when somebody buys something from, say, a store like, an online store where your stuff is there,
yes,
instead of, as opposed to buying it in bulk and having it physical merchandise prepared for something else, how does the whole pricing work? Do they pay you after after someone purchases your work, or?
Yeah. So let's say the bison patch. Okay, so someone buys this from me for $5. Okay, and I paid, I don't know, let's just say I paid 80 cents for it. I don't know, but I don't even know if it was that much. What ends up coming from me, for in this case for Shopify, I get an email. So I got an email. I rolled that up because somebody just ordered it 11:30 today. So somebody today bought 3 bison patches. Okay, and it tells me who they are. So basically what I will do is I will put 3 of them. In this case, I can put this in a regular envelope with a first class 55-cent postage on it and send it up to Hey Andy in Seattle. I don't know if it's his name or not, but I don't really care. And he paid through Shopify with that. So I will get a notice from Shopify that they will be making a deposit into my account. If I send a t-shirt, like, so here's a one for someone who ordered a t-shirt in Los Altos, that got sent directly to Printful. They send me a confirmation that, hey, we got the order, we're gonna make it, and we're gonna ship it to this person. They charged me $12.95, $3 shipping, which I typically charge. I charge them shipping. They had to pay California tax. Well, that's what I pay. So they Shopify, well, Printful charges me $19.64 in the end. My customer paid $37 for it. By the time they got taxed and shipping. Okay, so I made $17 off of this order.
Huh.
That makes sense. And then I will get a deposit. So in this case, Printful doesn't, they just charge me, but they know I made, customer paid 37. So wherever they paid to, and they basically pay through Shopify. So here's one, Shopify saying, you're going to get $8.44. Okay. Again, they send these out every couple of days. So you might have a day where you're making, $200. You might have a day you're making $8.44 type of thing. And they will deposit into your account. So $8.44 is going to be deposited in 1 to 2 days. And they just have my banking information and they do a direct deposit.
I see. Okay.
Makes sense? And I would venture to say this Redbubble and everything, they're all the same way, right? They're all kind of set up this way. Same thing with Etsy and all that. You don't have to, you're going to get a notice that somebody bought your sticker. In this case, I think they buy your sticker and then you don't even have to do anything because you don't have any sticker inventory. Like I do. But I think with this Redbubble, they just make it as you do. It's print on demand. If you have one of the products I use, they're available in 57 products. So yeah, so you can put this up on as many things as you want. So, Lance can take this design, this Medusa design, and put it on t-shirts and stickers and phone cases and whatever else you want to do. That makes sense. So they're giving you options of doing it. And in this case, they take care of the stickers and everything. In my case, I print my own stickers and then I resell them.
Right.
I'm making more money, I can tell you that, if that makes sense. And especially when I get into bulk ordering, as opposed to here, it's kind of one-offs. But I think this is a great way to kind of start. And again, I don't think these are the only companies doing this. Does that make sense? I don't think, again, the difference here is not only are they able to do print on demand, but they can do your website also. Does that make sense? So that's kind of like I think an added bonus as opposed to, over here, they make your shirts, but you got to sell them someplace. They don't do the retail. Does that make sense? You can retail through them. You can buy individual shirts here and sell them, but they're not designed to have a little retail store for you on this. You don't have a retail store here. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
So they link to retail stores as opposed to that Redbubble, which seems to be printing them all at the same time. Now, again, I don't know who's making their stuff. For all I know, they could be using Printful themselves to print this. But they basically will custom print the stuff here. And the cool thing is, again, even if you don't start a store tomorrow, if you got a really cool design, you want to put it on a t-shirt, you can come here and they'll make it one shirt and you can have it shipped to yourself. Okay. Which is kind of cool. Like, you don't need to have 1,000, you can have one made, one t-shirt, which is, I think, pretty awesome as a creative that you can do that. So you don't have to invest these hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars to do this. You can just kind of set up your own little shop. And now you guys know how to use the software even easier. Like I said, right? You don't have to hire an artist. You are the artist. Go and create. Start selling some stuff. Make some money.
Make a nice t-shirt. Do good work.
Yeah, make some shirts. Right? And then it's just about marketing, right? And the cool thing is there's, they tell you how to do it. There's sites, and within some of these sites, they tell you, within like Printful, they've got a whole section on marketing. You know, they've got some really good kind of behind the scenes of how to do things. You know, so people are sharing the information. You know, how to build your audience on Instagram, right? There's a whole thing, 2-minute, 2-hour class, right? You can take, and it looks like it's probably free. I don't know, probably is, on how to do what we've kind of talked about here. Does that make sense? So, you know, take advantage of this stuff, guys. Like I said, that's kind of the biggest thing, is take advantage of all these cool resources we have to, you know, make a little coin at this point. You know, and maybe it'll turn into something. Okay. Everything kind of starts this way, you know, and you can build it up and you can move into, you know, tennis shoes down the line. But I guarantee you there's some place that's making custom one-off tennis shoes. Custom sneakers. So probably, oh, Nike does it, of course, but there's something called custom kicks. There are probably other companies out there where you can do it and white label. And so white label is where we have a product and then you put your stuff on it. So private label, but white label is this kind of putting stuff on, customizing it. And again, I don't know if they can do one-offs or they can do, but you'd be surprised, guys. We're getting to that point where you can start to do this. Okay, just have a look. Okay. Again, once you figure out what you need, you could source it. Does that make sense? You know, whether it be tennis shoes or Hawaiian shirts or you know, jewelry or watches. But I think like T-shirts and pins and buttons, those kind of things are pretty cool from a design standpoint. They're low cost. We're utilizing the skills we already have, and then you can start getting into more advanced kind of things as you start to go. And again, as you decide you want to invest back into your company with other ideas. Trust me, everybody started with something. You know, no reason you can't start also. Okay, questions? Look at that, you're a drinking coordinator. Right, look, $18. Make some money, guys. All right, so let's take a quick look. Questions about the posters and stuff. So we got dive, yeah, that's cool. Let's make it more sense there, Aaron. What's here with your shirt? I mean, your poster. Watch, I think the balance here, this feels like your dive, it's getting a little bit close to maybe the top of the island. So maybe move that up just a little bit. And then work in your logo. Be careful down here with the fish. You don't want to get it too close again to those fish that are in there. And I think I'd almost even make the diver the same color as the fish and the whale shark. So he kind of has the same kind of weight down in there. That's cool.
Cool.
Yeah, keep going.
All right.
Keep going.
Bring the so kind of lessen the amount of fishes
Yes.
down there.
No, I'm not. The fish, the number doesn't matter. But just watch when you put your logo in.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense? You don't want the logo to get too cluttered with the fish here, or if it's
Yeah.
over here on the left
Mhm.
by the tail of the whale shark.
Right.
So you might need to make
Go
some
in there.
changes or modifications for that.
All right. No problem.
Okay.
I'll just move them around.
All right.
Well, thank you.
Anybody else come in late that I missed here? Let me just look at the attendance. We got everybody. Let's see. Cool. All right, I think I've gotten everybody. All right, questions, guys? So we're looking at Tuesday for our posters. Everybody good with that?
Yeah,
Yes.
good with me.
Everybody just awake still?
Yes.
I know y'all kicking back and turned it on, went to it, took a nap with my soothing voice. I get it.
It's like watching Bob Ross.
Yeah, right. It's cool. Right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Dude, I know. Okay. Yeah, I did last. Let me just pull that up real quick. And I saw your poster. You had a lot of flames at the bottom, if I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, again, the biggest thing I think right now is like your logo is just so big up the top. I think that would kind of maybe flip flop where the health travel service kind of goes to the bottom. And it could be smaller. It doesn't need to be so big. You have the welcome to hell with the fire. That's kind of, I think, getting better. I think it'd be nice to kind of pull in a little more kind of visual detail. I mean, the whole idea is to, I don't know, get somebody excited to go to hell, right? I mean, we're playing around here, and you know, if think of hell as Hawaii. Does that make sense? So however you would kind of visually kind of portray something like Hawaii, you want hell to be almost kind of somewhat as glamorous. Does that make sense? I mean, it's not glamorous, but you want to have that fun with it. Does that make sense? So I would keep pushing it. I think you're headed there, but I would keep going. And again, look at some visual references. You know, as the kind of like we said, we're looking at last class, like you know, maybe Dante's Inferno, or you know, what is hell to you? You know, how do other people interpret hell? Those type of things. Kind of bring those kind of visuals into your thing. That's cool. I think you're getting there. All right.
Okay. Yeah.
Anybody else with questions, concerns? All right, so we're going to look at those on Tuesday. And I'm almost sure I can get all the stuff graded by then. So we'll get that up. Everybody's doing fine. No sweats. Don't worry, guys. But do your work. Obviously, you don't do it. That doesn't help. But if you do it, everybody's been doing good. Attendance-wise, looking, everybody's been pretty good. And no major problems here. All right. Anything else? We are, like I said, about six weeks or so left. Oh, Tuesday, we're going to start with InDesign. So if you have not already, download InDesign through your Creative Cloud. We're going to start going through that on Tuesday. What it is, how it works, do some demos and stuff like that to get that going. Okay, and that's going to lead us into our last project. It's going to be a magazine layout. We're going to do a magazine cover and a couple layouts with that. Okay. Excuse me. All right. So download InDesign for Tuesday, so you can have that and work along as I do a little demo on Tuesday to get us up to speed. All right. Anything else, guys?
I'm making a thing with InDesign right now.
Oh, cool. Another class or just yourself?
Another class. It's for a 30 project that I just finished a couple days. Actually, end of March. Was it March? Yeah, it was March. It was.
So you
I'm kind of crash coursing.
Expert?
I won't say I'm an expert. I've just used it before. I'm still getting used to it. It'll be helpful to go over it in next class.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think once you find it and start to use it, that's all you want to use, right? And when you start to do papers or I don't know, I just use it for, I don't use Microsoft Word anymore at all.
Really?
I never do. If I have to open up Word, I'm like having a bad day. I'm not liking it. Because InDesign, I can control everything. I can move things where I want. And that's the designer in me, is I want to be able to do that. And I guess Microsoft Word lets you do some of that, but it's just a pain.
Yeah.
So you'll get, I think you'll probably be like me and like InDesign as we go.
All right. Once I get to understand how it works, yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
yeah, we'll go through it. We're gonna go through it step by step with the different ideas and what it does. And again, this is where we start to bring the words together with the images, the pictures, and the illustrations that we've been doing. This is where we kind of merge everything together.
Gotcha.
So, and it's literally is the program that everybody uses for every magazine, every brochure, everything, newspaper. It's all being done on InDesign. So, okay. All right. Anything else, guys? All right. I will get to, I think the last class I got up, but I didn't think no, I didn't even upload yet. So I'll get both of these uploaded to the website, and then we'll be good. If you have any questions about your posters, send them over. And again, we'll look at those on Tuesday. Other than that, have a great weekend. Sign up for your shots, get your vaccination. All right, everybody's becoming eligible, I think, at this point. So get it. I'm hearing there's places that have extras, whatever. Just figure it out. All right.
All right.
Do it for your family. Do it for your friends. Okay.
Okay.
All right, guys. Have a good weekend.
All right. Take
And,
care.
we'll see you guys Tuesday. Bye.
All righty. Bye bye.